For my honors thematic literature review, I focused on affordable housing since that was my research project. Intersectionality is such a tangled web when it's really thought about. The definition is the interconnected nature of social categorizations such as race, class, and gender as they apply to a given individual or group, regarded as creating overlapping and interdependent systems of discrimination or disadvantage. Affordable housing does not cause these issues, but it definitely helps them get worse. For instance, I will be talking about how affordable housing is with racism and how that changes the way that a lot of people are able to achieve what they want to achieve. Secondly, I'll be talking about how domestic abuse leads to homelessness, really because of affordable housing. And finally, how it affects a person's health. Affordable housing is obviously something that should be given to the masses, but it's such a hard thing to come by. Racism really falls in with this because, in one of my examples, Derek Wells says that basically, due to the fact that most Americans who were of color were not making as much because they were not being paid as much, they were segregated into their own areas, and that seems to be happening today, with mostly people of color getting that advantage and disadvantage. The other author that I talked about, he makes the claim that immigrants are so important to how America works that they aren't really being given what they give back. For instance, how it's a stereotype that only people of color really work in construction, but these are the construction people who create the big houses that they live in. Secondly, I'd like to discuss how it could influence domestic abuse. Now, of course, domestic abuse can happen anywhere, but in usual stressful situations, it really influences how people react. And it's not an excuse in any shape or form, but when times are tough, people lash out. Though there was nothing that stated that this really causes this domestic abuse, there is so much homelessness that is born out of it. People are unable to support themselves alone. If they have children or spouses, whatever it is almost impossible. And so when there is domestic abuse and these people need to get out of their homes, they are unable to, and they end up homeless. Kristen Franklin really explains this in her book. Secondly, when this homelessness hits, their mental health takes such a toll if it wasn't already influenced by that abuse already. And finally, I'd like to talk about how affordable housing affects health. It is quite simple to look around and understand that affordable housing has such a role in a person's health. If you are able to own a home and really not be exceptionally stressed, you're already on a good track. But if you don't even own a home, you don't know when your next meal is going to be because you are unable to afford a house, it will hinder your health in so many ways. I was able to find a study on how these scientists were able to track the health of the homeless and everything that really comes with it. They gave so many statistics stating how important it is that people are able to get health care and all these different things. And then another author brought up the elderly. If you're already unable to really take care of yourselves and now you can't even have a home because of these rising prices and these unfair demands, it really feels like a stab in the heart. It's very heartbreaking to hear. In conclusion, these are just 3 of the hundreds of different intersectionalities that could be present. From this, we should take that we don't understand and know other people's lives. So when we say something claiming that our life is worse, we really have no idea about what's going on. Having affordable housing can at least help aid to these problems and allow people to like work on themselves a bit more, because at the end of the day, stress is born from our lack of money. If we had money to set things down and settle ourselves and understand that we have a safe place to go home, we would have more time to really focus on ourselves.